Now for the eyes. So I want you to take a little bit of black, and I mean the tiniest little bit of black. Pull off the smallest amount that you can think of and then half it. And I guarantee you almost that that will be too big. So these are for his eyes. So what I've done here is I've built the head up until I'm happy with it. And then what I do is I look at him or her straight on and I poke where I think the eyes will be. This kind of helps to sort of really start seeing it as the animal you're trying to create. Starts to give it some character. So if you look there, I don't know if you can see, I've got a little eye either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that up like that. If you wanted, you can put beads in here, but I am not the greatest lover of beads. I think it just stops your creativity somehow. I mean, I don't mind beads so much, but I'm not very, don't like eyes at all. It's art. It depends on what you're making. At the end of the day, if you're making a doll, use eyes. By all means, use eyes. If you're making a model, again, if it's anatomically correct, use eyes. If you're making an illustration or an art piece, then do it yourself or use something else. And that's kind of the difference between art and model making and doll making. I'm sure somebody else would have a different take on it, but that's my sort of difference, how I differentiate it. So we've got little black, do you see what I mean about them being really quite large when you get down to it? So I'm just going to roll it, look again, I'll do it again while I'm not waffling this time. Okay, so you can see that I've got it domed and then I jiggle it in. So it doesn't lose its spherical nature. Now we're going to have white that goes all the way around this eventually anyway. But you just sort of start to see, and there's a little robin now. Okay. So we're now going to do the grey bits. So if you get a tiny bit of your grey, and like that, and then I want you to get some snips or some scissors and I want you to chop it in half. And move his little legs back a little bit. So we're just going to rough this edge up, and I'm going to pop it under where his wings will be, all the way around. So that it can blend in nicely with his little orange breast when we put it on. Only going in very lightly, I'm not sculpting, and I'm also going in at quite an oblique angle a lot of the time, because again, I just want it to go in the surface and I want it to blend and I want it to be smooth, and these are all things that help do that. I'll put another layer in because it's not grey enough. and I've got a bit too far under there, so I'm just going to pluck that up. That's why these shears are really good. And they're really good for wool because originally that's what they were made for. Sheep shears are just, old sheep shears are just bigger versions of those. It's a bit of rubbish for you to know, if you didn't already. Right, there we go. So we're now on to doing it round here. So again, get tiny little bits. Where's my shears gone? And so you're going up and round. So actually what I'm going to do though is I'm going to start there and I'm going to blend out, and then we'll put the red on top of the red, orange. So I'm only taking this as far back as it goes on there, and then again I'm going to shear it. But just in front of the eyes and down to the beak, and then with that little bit of sheared wool actually, and just pull that in half and use the other half on the other side. It's going to go underneath there. That on that side. And then get another little bit, chop it in half, just go around the back of his eye as well. So I want you to needle felt that down quite well on either side, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how to do the red bit and orange bit even. It's because in the UK we call them robin redbreasts even though they've got an orange chest, and it's because we had no word for orange up until oranges, the fruit that you eat, became popular in this country, but the name just stuck. That's how the story goes anyway. Okie dokie, so we've now done his little grey mask, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the rest.